Worried about your sales job in 2025? Don't just survive. Let's thrive together. I've got 9 strategies to share with you today, and the only way to survive, to thrive on your sales job in 2025 is if you come and start the year with new, effective, and smart strategies. If you're ready to train, I am. Let's get into it. Strategy number 1: master your salesperson personality. We are all human beings. We are all programmed to behave according to our natural personality and character. However, in sales, you need to learn how to master your what I call salesperson personality. What I recommend that happened to me before, it has worked with me before, is whenever I'm doing my sales presentation, I create an image or a character that I believe is likable, I believe is smart, I believe is easy to understand, and many others. So my advice is, if by nature you're not the most extrovert, or let's just say if by nature you're more on the introvert side, learn to adjust that a little bit if you want to thrive in your sales job in 2025 by creating and mastering your salesperson personality. Think about actors and actresses. When they perform an act and they portray a specific role, they somehow connect their natural character, their nature, or who they really are as a person, but somehow they make some adjustments in order for them to portray the character in a more effective way. So think of yourself as an actor if you are in sales. So really think about it. How do you actually portray yourself as a salesperson, and how do you portray yourself as a person when you're not selling anymore? Strategy number 2: be a great presenter. Have you actually watched any keynote speaking of any industries on TED Talks? I'm a big fan of TED Talks, and one day I would hope that I will be able to have an opportunity to share my journey, my life, my story, and share some insights, a lot of insights and value in terms of the industry where I spent 25 years of my life and still in this industry to this day. So, going back to strategy number 2, be a great presenter. If you watch those keynote speaker guesting on TED, they have one thing in common. They're very good with presenting. They need to capture the attention of the audience. They need to be able to sell the idea that they have if they're actually trying to promote an idea, a solution, an innovation. So think about those guys and girls. One thing that they have in common is being a great presenter. So in order to thrive in 2025 with your sales job, pay attention on your presentation skill. This is not the same as selling skill. You see, when you're in sales, there's a lot of elements into it. You're a presenter, your presentation skill, your communication skill, your selling skill, your closing skill. There's a lot of layers of different skills or different types of skills that comes together if you are a salesperson like myself. And my suggestion, end of the year, you do have evaluation with your direct team lead or your sales manager or your sales director. Suggest to him or to her to give you a feedback. not just on how many sales you made this year or how many sales you still need next year, but really get a feedback on how do you sound as a presenter. Because the truth is, we don't really know how we sound unless we are recording ourselves. Like I am recording myself every time I prepare or every time I create a video. So when I replay this video that I'm recording right now, I could be the best judge and say, okay, I did sound a bit flat, or that was way too long, or I was going around the bush and all this stuff. Yeah? So have a dialogue with your sales manager and suggest that maybe it would be a good idea for you to get a feedback from him or her on how you sound as a presenter. Strategy number 3. Conversational selling. We all know that when we see a client face to face, or when we pick up the phone for telemarketing or telesales, we have one thing and one thing only to make a sale. Guess what? Your client knows that. It's not a secret that we are calling them or we are arranging a meeting with them because we want to sell something to them. So it's a known thing. They know what we're there for. So what am I trying to say here? Basically, try not to sound like a salesman. Make it a very conversational, with essence, with value, with sense. So really focus on meeting your client, face-to-face selling or telemarketing. Make sure that you remind yourself that you don't want to sound like you're selling. You want to apply conversational selling. This is how you will thrive in 2025. That's the 3rd strategy. 4th strategy, guys. Master building rapport. There's a difference between knowing how to say hi, being friendly. That's just a very, very basic way of building rapport with your client. This strategy, I specifically say, master building rapport. There are just people out there who are just so good naturally with building rapport with people. And I'm not just talking about someone you want to sell a product to. It could be also someone you want to have a relationship with, whether business, whether it's a deal, whether it's partnership, whether it's collaboration. Matter of fact, building rapport is an everyday thing. We don't just build rapport when we are working. We may think that that's the only time we do it, but we actually always build rapport when we are in contact with another human being. So again, master building rapport. My advice here as well is take a look at how you connect with other people. Think about those salespeople or mentor that you look up to. Think about how are they building rapport? How do they actually connect? What do they say? What kind of language? What are the words that they use? This is a very, very good way for you to master your building rapport skills. And when does building rapport starts? At the very beginning of your sales presentation. This is when you're trying to break the ice. This is when you're trying to connect. This is when you're trying to build trust with your client, or you earn trust from your client. Strategy number 5. Smoothly get through the gatekeeper. Gatekeeper, secretary. So if I'm doing face-to-face selling, perhaps I will be calling the office first, get through the secretary or the gatekeeper to put me through Mr. Smith. And then if Mr. Smith is around, I can arrange an appointment with him. It's a long process, right? You need to get through the gatekeeper. You need to get an appointment first before you even start selling. Now, once if you're not able to get through directly to your client, you would have to call or pick up the phone or send an email to the gatekeeper or the secretary, the person, the key person to connect you to your client. You need to make sure that you also master in 2025, you also master how to smoothly connect and get through the gatekeeper. My suggestion, make sure you get the first name of the gatekeeper. Let's say the gatekeeper's name is Linda. Make sure that any client you call, every secretary you've spoken to, please write down their names on your diary. So the next time you need to make a follow-up, or you're trying to get hold of Mr. Smith, or you have a specific message for Mr. Smith that will only be conveyed through Linda, you got to make sure that you address her next time you call or email, address her by her name. There's a familiarity factor there. At the same time, Linda feels important. She will feel important that you're not just calling her as the secretary or as the assistant or as the personal telephone operator for your client. Right? So don't forget that. That's a good tip. Strategy number 6, offer soft recommendation. Offer soft recommendation. So what is it? This is similar to soft selling. When you offer recommendation or a soft recommendation to your client, you are testing the water. You are testing his reaction. You're kind of like figuring out how is he reacting to that particular recommendation. It could be one specific benefit in the package, and then it could be that his reaction or her reaction would be, oh, I like that. I like that. And then he or she will proceed to probing you with more questions. So how does that work? Is that part of the package? Can I use that when I go overseas? Or is that just within local market? Stuff like that, So what you need to learn there is also asking soft recommendation or giving soft recommendation to test the water. There's so many ways to sell, guys. I'm only starting with this channel. There's so many ways to make a sale. It doesn't have to be literally making a sale. It has to be done, or it can be done. In my 25 years of experience in sales, it can be done in many, many, many ways. And offering soft recommendation, you're already selling. He doesn't even know that. You probably don't even think that way. But soft recommendation is already selling, is the core of your selling process already. Recommendation, okay. Strategy number 7, provide free value. Raise the hand if you like anything free. We all want to have a freebie. We always grab freebies. We always take anything offered for free. When you offer free value, you provide free value to your client. This is also him convincing himself that I should buy from this person. This is the this is the right salesperson to give the business to. Again, face-to-face selling, telemarketing, cold calling, small business owner. This video is for all of you. Sales is sales everywhere. If you're face-to-face selling, if you're telemarketing, if you're cold calling, if you're door-to-door, if you're a small business owner, the principle and the methodology is the same. The only thing that changes is perhaps, or not perhaps, but definitely the product and some adjustments on how you actually sell, basically face-to-face or over the phone. So again, strategy number 7, provide free value. It can come into a form of service. It could come into a form of he did not buy it, but you're offering free service. When the client did not or is not decided to buy from you on that particular meeting. Don't just close the door and move on and say, okay, well, he didn't buy, so I don't get anything out of that meeting. Still, make sure that you're providing free value of service by making yourself accessible, making yourself very willing for any questions he may have, even if he's not buying the product right there and then. Because what you want him to buy is your service. What you want him to buy is you. People buy because of you. Imagine a salesperson who is still extremely enthusiastic even if you said no. Imagine a salesperson still offer you an assistance, a service, free value, even if you said no. Wouldn't that change your mind? I would. So think about that. That's another strategy you want to apply in 2025 so you don't just survive, but you also thrive. Now, strategy number 8. Persistent, but not pushy. These are two different things. It may sound similar, but they are two different things. You want to be persistent. You need to be persistent in sales. But your persistence should not be on the person. Your persistence should be on the product. So if you identify the needs of your client, it is very easy for you to drum on the needs when you're trying to exercise your persistence. Instead of saying, oh, Mr. Lim or Mr. Smith, go and buy, support the program, buy this. This is really a good deal. It's 50% discount. It is a good price today. That's being pushy. What you should do is, Mr. Smith, I recognize I just could not deny the fact that you really need the package for one reason or two. This is costing you a savings of $3,000 in 1 year based on your profile. At the same time, this is a transferable package that you and your entire family can use without even being together. That is being persistent, guys. Being pushy, obviously, I don't need to give an example. It's very self-explanatory. There's a lot of ways to be pushy. You know how to do that. But what I've just given you is a little role play of the difference on how to sound pushy and to be smart and be persistent. Last strategy, build trust first. You need to build trust first. Don't just jump into your sales meeting face-to-face or telemarketing with the intention your intention is to sell, but immediately selling to the client. You don't want to do that. What you need to do is to make sure that before anything else, you need to build trust. Trust is a very big chunk of factor for a client to decide to buy or not to buy from you. And building trust is not only through words, it's not only through the materials, the black and white materials that you're showing your client as a proof that this proposal or this project is legit. But building trust is also how you present yourself. Do you look trustworthy? Do you sound trustworthy? Check yourself. There's a lot of ways to improve in order to improve your 2025 sales performance. And if you've enjoyed today's training session, I hope you pick up a lot of value into this video. Subscribe. This is 80-something videos, more coming up. You have to subscribe or you're going to miss out on all the free training that are very similar to this theme. Have a good day. I'll see you on the next training session. Bye, guys. Thank you.